All right, welcome to Thursday, April 30th, last day of April. Still in quarantine, but that's okay. Got a workout for you. Today you're actually going to need two heavy objects, equally heavy objects hopefully, and a timer. All right, let's get to a warm-up. For today's warm-up, we've got some new movements, so bear with me. We're doing 3 rounds of these, and each of these we're doing 3 reps of. So first we've got upward to downward facing dog with some toe touches. That's going to look like this. I would go ahead and start in your upward dog with your arms straight, and then push up into that downward dog. With the downward dog, you're trying to get the heels flush to the ground, hip and butt high, arms are straight as well. And then from there, you're going to do some 2 toe touches, touching the opposite foot. So right hand, left foot, left hand, left foot, back down into upward facing dog, back to downward dog. 1, 2. So each of those from upward to downward to 2 toe touches is 1 rep. 3 times. 3 of those. The second movement is a little more complicated, a shin box. I'll admit right now, it's gonna depend on your level of flexibility in the hips. But basically start in this position. You bring the inside of your right knee to the ground, fold over as much as you can, within reason. Back up, left inside knee to the ground, and fold. Terrible on my left side. And back to the right, fold, back to the left, fold.
You're doing a great job.
Good luck with those. Okay. Really wakes up those hips. 3 of those. Right knee, left knee is 1 rep. Then you're going to do 3 single leg RDL hand switches. That's where the heavy object comes into play. Hopefully not too heavy. But you're going to get in that single leg Romanian deadlift position and just hand that back and forth, trying to keep balance. 3 times. And then switch legs. Again, keeping that balance. So 3 times back and forth to each hand and on each leg. Then go back to the top until you've done 3 rounds of all 3 movements. At the very end, you're going to do 30 jumping jacks. Jumping jacks look like this. 30 of those. All right, so that's 3 rounds total of 3 reps of upward to downward facing dog with toe touches, 3 shin boxes and forward folds, basically right knee to the ground, left knee to the ground, right knee to the ground, left knee to the ground, right knee to the left to the ground. And then the single leg Romanian deadlift hand switches, 3 reps each leg. And then once you've done 3 rounds of all of that, 30 jumping jacks, and you're warmed up, and then you're finding me back here for strength. Thanks so much. Welcome back from that warm-up. Hopefully you're good and warmed up. We've got 4 quality movements here for you. Today's strength, including some new ones. We're going to do 2 different supersets again today. The first superset's got gorilla rows in it. I'll show you those. 4 sets of 8 to 10 reps on each side on the gorilla row. And then the second movement is contralateral glute bridge floor presses. You're doing 4 sets of 12 of those floor presses on each side. I'll show you those. You're resting 30 seconds between both of these. After the contralateral glute bridge floor presses, you go back to the gorilla rows until you've done 4 sets of each. And then on that last set of contralateral glute bridge floor presses, you're going to roll into the second superset after that 30-second rest into plank pull-throughs, which we've done before, but don't fret, I'll show you those. This time we're doing plank pull-throughs for 60 seconds, 60 full seconds, and then resting 30 seconds before going into dumbbell or kettlebell overhead triceps extensions. You're doing 4 sets of 8 to 12 each side on those tricep extensions. Then you rest for 30, go back to the plank pull-throughs and through those 2 movements until you've done 4 sets of each. Alrighty, let's show you those movements. So gorilla row, just think gorilla. Grab your 2 equally heavy objects, put them between your legs. Nice wide stance, wide enough to squat down on these and get comfortable holding this squatted position while you row. And you'll notice my hand turns out a little bit as I come up. Rotate that hand out and back down. Now if you only have one object, that's fine. Do all of one side first and then switch all the next side. 8 to 10 reps of these. My midline's nice and stable. I'm staying down in that squatted position. Gorilla rows. Awesome. After those gorilla rows, you're doing contralateral floor presses, contralateral glute bridge floor presses. With those, you're gonna get down on the ground, grab your object that you're pressing, and you're going to, whichever side you're pressing with is the side that's going to have the leg that's down, okay? So I'm pressing with my right side, so I've got my right foot planted. Now I'm going to go up into the glute bridge, but since it's contralateral, left leg comes up. Boom. And do your presses. This one is 12 each side. Contralateral, glute bridge, single arm presses. Pushing those hips to the sky, keeping that leg out, and pressing. So once you do those glute bridge presses, floor presses, you'll go back to gorilla rows on through until you've done 4 sets of both of those movements. On that last set of contralateral glute bridge floor presses, your 30 seconds rest is transitioning into that second superset, which starts with the plank pull-throughs for 60 seconds. So, plank pull-throughs, if you remember, place that object kind of under your chest in that plank position. You want to start it kind of on the other side of the opposite arm, hand, and pull that weight through to that side. Switch hands, pull it through. Keeping this plank position in your body, nice solid core, glutes are engaged. Keeping your body from rotating too much, especially the hips when we're doing these pulls. Try to keep them nice and stable. 60 full seconds of pull-throughs. It's a good challenge. After those, you'll rest for 30 seconds, and then you'll do either a dumbbell or kettlebell, whatever weight you've got, overhead triceps extension. For those triceps extensions, grab your weight. It is one weight. Grip it with both hands, elbows are in, and pressing up and back down, up and back down. Boom. Triceps extension, keeping yourself in balance, nice and locked, nice and vertical, nice and stacked with your body, pressing up. All right. That is your dumbbell or kettlebell triceps extension. You're doing 8 to 12 of those. Rest for 30 seconds, back to plank pull-throughs for 60 solid seconds, and so on and so forth until you've done 4 sets of both of those movements. Press pause, get set up, have fun with it, and I'll see you back here for conditioning. All right, welcome back to conditioning. Today we have 4-time, 3 reps, then 6 reps, then 9 reps, then 12 reps, then 15 reps, then 18 reps, an ascending ladder of dumbbell hang power snatches. This is each side, and dumbbell renegade rows, which is also each side. All right, so that means you're gonna do 3 reps each side of hang power snatches, 3 reps each side of dumbbell renegade rows, and then do 6 reps of dumbbell hang power snatches, 6 reps of dumbbell renegade rows, so on and so forth until you've done the 18 of each side on both of those movements. All right, those movements, the dumbbell hang power snatch. Grab that weight, place it between your legs. Go ahead and get shoulder width on this stance. It is easier to go between the legs with these. Swing it on up. Shins will stay vertical. You're using those hips to pop that weight over your head. All right, and that is each arm for those dumbbell renegade rows. This is your 2 equally heavy objects here. With those 2 objects, place them down, shoulder width apart, so that you can plank on them. And then you're gonna row. You're gonna keep that plank position in your body, keeping those hips stable and straight. You may go a little wider with your feet to keep yourself stable on this. Row. Maintaining that stable core the whole time. It is each side on those rows. So if you count AB1, AB2, AB3. There's your 3 reps each side on the renegade rows. All right, so to repeat. 3 reps of dumbbell hang power snatches, each arm. 3 reps each side on dumbbell renegade rows, up to 6 on through until you get to 18. Press pause. Have fun with this. I'll see you back here for a cool down. All right. Welcome back for a very necessary cool down. You always have the option to do the shutdown challenge before you do this cool down. It's in the description below. Today's cool down involves the lizard pose. You're going to do 30 seconds each side on that one. You can do that dynamic or static. And then the world's greatest stretch. With the world's greatest stretch, we're going to rest 30 seconds in each pose. I'm going to show you that now. So start with the world's greatest stretch. Get in that plank position. Then bring your right foot on the outside of that right hand. You're going to leave that left hand planted. You're going to lift that right hand up and try to bring that right elbow to the ground. That is a very strong word, try. Not everybody should be able to, so don't worry about it if you can't, but the point is you're stretching this area right here. Your hamstring, your groin area is opening up. So we're going to hold this position for about 30 seconds. So from this position, you're going to go into a pigeon pose. So you can leave that left arm planked and just bring that leg under. Right leg under.
Lower yourself onto your elbows if you can. If you can bring your head down, great. But you're gonna hang into this pigeon pose for 30 seconds. You can kind of rock back and forth. Take deep breaths, try to stretch lower each time, but hold that position for about 30 seconds. After the pigeon, come on up into a straight leg. Hamstring stretch. Bring that toe up. If you can reach that toe, pull it toward you, and you're stretching this, holding this position for about 30 seconds. If you want to do a more dynamic release and stretch for that 30 seconds, you can. And then lastly, keeping that foot forward, you're going to work into a hip flexor stretch. Bring those hands overhead, push them toward the ceiling and lower, feeling that stretch in the hip flexor. I'll switch sides for you just so you can see. Again, hands toward the ceiling, lower leg, arch the back, feeling that stretch here. And hold for about 30 seconds for that pose, and then do the opposite side. Again, holding 30 seconds for each of those poses of the world's greatest stretch. The scorpion stretches, these guys are back and forth, lay on their belly, arms out to 90, but then just above 90 with those hands. You're gonna take your right leg, right foot, right heel, twist it over, good thoracic stretch and a good shoulder stretch here, and then come back. And we're gonna do 3 each side. Try to keep that heel from touching the ground. A little bit more of a stretch by not giving that leg a break by touching the ground with it. Okay? That's your cool down for today. I'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks for joining Mitten Fitness, CrossFit Dexter, for these quarantine, stay home, get ripped workouts. All right, congratulations. You have graduated into a new SHUTDOWN challenge. The last one was challenging to say the least, especially at the very end with all those reps that have accumulated. Nobody expected to be closed this long, but thanks for challenging yourselves and sticking with it. We've got a new challenge for you starting today, Saturday, April 18th. All right, so the new challenge has accumulating 1 full minute of elbow planking. Also, after that, accumulating 1 full minute of hollow holds. After that, you're gonna do 48 push-ups, more push-ups, but think how ready you'll be for Murph. And then after the 48 push-ups, you're gonna do 10 light, emphasize light goblet squats. Okay? So this is going to increase daily by 5 seconds on the holds for the plank and the hollow hold, by 1 push-up, and by 2 light goblet squats each day that we continue to be closed due to this virus that's out there. All right, so let's show you the movements. Elbow plank, you probably know, but I'm gonna show you. Down on those elbows, on the balls of those toes, your core is engaged, you're pressing down, pressing into that ground with your elbows and your feet, your toes, really pressing down, really squeezing the abs, squeezing pretty much every possible muscle you can during this hold to get the most out of it. All right, that is your elbow plank. Hollow hold. Make that bowl with your body. Leg raise, arms up and out. Make sure your shoulders are off the ground. Basically only touching the ground from the center of your back to your tailbone, and holding.
Engage that core. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Push-ups. Push-ups you know. Push-ups you love. And start in that full plank position. Down, chest to the ground. Elbows are in, either 45 degrees or tighter, and up. Push-up. Now if you don't have the full strict push-up, no problem. Go to your knees, down, up, and if you need to scale that even further, find that coffee table, bench chair, side of your rig, and do your push-ups into that object. All right, then last but not least, goblet squats. This is not necessarily light, but it is a kettlebell in the goblet position. Elbows are in, nice and racked. Your goblet is hugging your chest. Squat stance for these, and you're gonna start with that butt back. So push the butt and hips back, down, parallel or below, and back up. Have a blast with this shutdown challenge. It doesn't matter when during the day you do this. It is meant to be as well as your normal workout for the day. You can do it throughout the day, piece it up, do it throughout the day. You can do it before you go to bed. You can do it as soon as you wake up. It's your workout, it's your challenge. Just have fun with it. Thanks, guys. Hey folks, really appreciate you tuning in. Please do us a favor, press that like button, subscribe, find us on Facebook, find us on Instagram, like us, follow us. Stay healthy.